One of the great things about the times that we currently live in is how much information is available. I mean, think about what we can do on the internet. You can just basically Google anything. One of the downsides of the times that we live in is how much information is available. And I don't say that because I think information is a bad thing. I think information is great. It's what you do with that information, and it's the overwhelm and confusion that that information can quite often create. Hi, this is Andrew with the Andrew Smith team at eXp Realty. And I invite you to subscribe to my channel and hit that little bell icon to be notified when I put out a new video, as I always try and put out topics that are relevant to what's going on in today's market. And today, it's going back to information, and it ties into a couple of questions I've had recently. And let me give you an example. It's social media, right? So I post a lot of different things on video, on Facebook pages, but I'm talking now about Instagram. It's a platform I've done a little on, I've played on, I understand somewhat, but I'm not active on. And it's one of my goals to get more active on that channel. So as a result, I've been doing some research, and it's a little bit confusing. I go on YouTube or I find an article and it talks all about, well, here's the way your profile should be set up. Here's what you should do. Here's how this should happen. And then I see another video or another article that basically says something different. So it's like, okay, which is it? What do I do? And it leads to some confusion. And what I find is the exact same is true in the real estate market right now. And here's what I mean. I was talking to some people that said, you know what? Home prices are crazy. They're going up so fast. We are absolutely in trouble, right? So we're going to sell our home and we're going to rent for the next couple of years. And I said, okay, well, what are you basing that on? Oh, well, we're in a bubble. It's going to crash. I said, no, I understand. And I'm not knocking your idea. You got to do what's best for you. But what are you basing that on? And the bottom line is, it was, well, I read this article and I just kind of feel that things are running out of control. It's like, okay, I get it. Same thing with a buy, from a buyer's perspective, right? I was talking to some buyers recently and they said, we've been looking for 6 months, and, homes that we saw 6 months ago, they're priced so much, comparable homes are so much more expensive today. This is crazy. We're frustrated. We're overwhelmed. We're going to take a break, and we're signing another year's lease. We're just going to keep renting. So it's like, okay, I get it. But what are you going to do next year? Well, we're hoping prices come down. Well, hope isn't the plan. What if they don't? What if what if they keep going up? Or what if interest rates rise? And I don't want to play the what if game. I don't like the what if game, but hoping that something changes, hoping that prices fall, hoping that rates stay the same also isn't really a plan. It's kind of allowing the outside environment happen to you, right? It's not taking control of your current situation. So the bottom line is, what are you to do? Who do you believe? Now, I am certainly not saying that you should believe me, or you should believe the opinions of any one person or individual. But with that in mind, let me share how I come up with the topics for my videos, or where I get my information on when I'm putting information out for you. So, as many of you know, I've been in this game for just about 20 years now. I've been through market crashes, I've been through up markets, down markets, much higher interest rates than we're seeing now. I've seen down payment assistance programs. I've listed foreclosures for banks. I've negotiated short sales for my own clients and for agents all across the country. We've dealt with luxury properties. We've dealt with first-time buyers, entry level. So I only say that to say I've been doing this for a while, right? I also do a great deal of research. I do the research so that you don't have to. I always cite my sources. It's not just my opinion, But quite often I'm asked, what would you do? Or what do you think about this? So I'll share that. And again, you need to make the decision that's best for you. That's always, always the case. But which is one of the reasons I said, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you like what I put out, at least let me be one of your sources. Because again, I spend a lot of time researching this for you so that you can get the information that you need. And with that in mind, it's kind of interesting with both of those ideas. So let's look at sellers for the first part. Selling your home now and renting, right? Cashing out and renting with the market going up is obviously based upon the belief that the market's about to go down. And let's be honest, a belief is nothing more than you applying certainty to what something means. So you're certain that the market's going to turn, right? So would I do that currently? No, I wouldn't. If I wasn't sure what the market was going to do, I would stay in touch with the market. I may make some preparations so that I can make a decision as soon as I see things change. Right now, I don't see things changing. I agree with you 100% that the market can't keep going up and up and up and up and up, right? It's not possible. And I do think that the pace of appreciation that we're seeing is going to taper down, right? But let's face it, price appreciation right now is being caused by supply and demand. We have a lot of demand for housing, and it's not new. COVID actually added to the demand because it actually created freedoms for people. The work from home that's become permanent for many companies has created freedom for many individuals. And that's allowed them to live further away from the office, not have to commute as much. So you've got demand coupled with very, very low supply. And that's also not a new problem. Scroll back some of the videos in this channel or take a look at my blog. I've got a link to it in the description below. And I talk about this. It's a supply and demand issue that isn't going away anytime soon. I recently did a compilation video on what the experts say. Housing and economic experts, people that study this industry basically every single day. That's what they do. Not a single one of them is forecasting a downturn in housing in the near future. When I say near future, I'm talking the next 12, 24, 36 months. In fact, there's some out there that say this, what we're seeing right now, could easily continue for 5, 6, 7, 8 years. Right? Whether or not it's going to go that long, I don't know. I haven't seen enough yet to make that determination, but I don't think it's going to go down. Right? There are signs that you can look for when that's going to happen. You want to see that multiple offers aren't the norm all over the place. You want to see that inventory is starting to rise. In many areas right now, at least where we practice, I mean, there's less than a month's supply of homes. 6 months is considered a balanced market. When that inventory starts to go up towards 2, 3, 4, now you may want to start looking at what's going on. Where's days on market, right? Are homes taking longer to sell? Are you seeing price reductions in the market in order to sell? That's indications that the market's kind of reaching a peak, or at least balance is coming back into the market. So I don't think it's going anywhere right now. So for me, I wouldn't get out of the market entirely right now. It doesn't matter if you're thinking of selling and buying a more expensive home, or you're selling and thinking of buying a smaller home. I would stay in the market in some way, shape, or form. Right? That's me personally. Obviously, you've got to do what's right for you. But me, I wouldn't get out completely. With the buying aspect, let's face it, if you don't buy, you're going to rent, right? Have you noticed many apartment buildings in your area being built? How full are those parking lots after the apartment building opens? I know where I am, they fill up pretty fast. There's a huge demand for housing, right? And if people can't find a place to buy, they have no choice but to find a place to rent. Rental properties that go on the market are disappearing just as fast as homes for sale. Instantaneously, they're gone. They don't last, right? And so that's kind of showing where the demand is. A recent study by the Urban Institute showed that it's more expensive to rent in 2 out of 3 counties across the country than it is to buy. Rents aren't going down. And when your rent keeps going up, you can't refinance. You can't do anything a lot unless you physically move to a lower rent area or a home or apartment that's got lower rent. So if you don't continue your efforts to get into the market, what I say is you want to start making that plan. Right now, there's a lot in your favor. Are multiple offers a pain and frustrating? They are. Are bidding wars fun? No, they're not fun for anybody, right? Obviously they work great for sellers, but I'll be honest, as agents, they're not fun for agents. Nothing worse than getting a bunch of offers in on the property and having to know that you're having to tell that many people no. I'm sorry, it hurts. Those are families, those are people, those are lives, and it just hurts. So it's not any fun. Right. So with that in mind, it's understanding that rents keep going up. Interest rates are great. So if it was me, I would continue to try and get into something. Even if you can't get into the home that's your ideal home, I would try and get into a home. I would try and make the move and get into a home so that you're at least playing the game. You're in it. So not only are you making your mortgage payment now you're paying your own mortgage instead of your landlord's mortgage. But not only that, you're also getting the benefits of the appreciating market, and you're going to be gaining equity over the next 6, 12, 24 months. Just an example, I mean, there's a couple of different couples I've worked with on new construction, right? They were lucky enough to get into new construction the early part of the year. We've got some from December, January, and February. And here we are in June. And you go back to those same developments, and the homes that they were able to buy are now 40, 50, 60, 70, $80,000 more than they were when they just bought, right? So at that point in time, it's like, oh, look at that. They haven't even moved in yet. Many of these homes are not yet done. And that's how much equity they're moving into, right? They're in the game, they're in it, right? So just a couple of things to keep in mind. As I always say, the best decision to make is the decision that's right for you and your family. That's the most important overall. So I just share this to say, take all the information in, evaluate it. And, if you want an opinion, reach out. I've got a link below where you can schedule a call with me. I'm not going to try and sell you anything. I'm just going to try and help you. I'll share whatever information I have regarding your particular situation. And ultimately, what I want is for you to make the decision that's right for you. If that means, your decision based on your circumstances is to not buy, or if I don't think it's in your best interest to buy, I'll tell you that. Same thing on the sales side. So again, a lot of information out there. It's always difficult to know what it is that you should do, but hopefully, these few words I've offered with you today help you along that path. And if there's anything I can do to help you or anyone please don't hesitate to reach out.